Okay, today we're going to be dividing wild gingers. These belong to the genus Asarum. And this is what an Asarum looks like. They're basically deciduous and evergreen. The majority of them are evergreen. So we can divide them almost any time of year, but I happen to love, in particular, to divide them in winter, right before the new growth comes out. That way they can get reestablished, the new growth flushes, and it's almost impossible to tell that they've been divided. So first thing we want to do is come in and dig the plant up. So we're going to use our little claw tool here. We're going to just pop it right out of the ground. Now, if you don't have good soil, you're not going to have them rooted in quite as big. So we're basically taking one clump and we're going to see what we can make out of them. So first thing we want to do is clear off the roots. And then we're going to figure out how many we got in there. So at each, we start by trying to pull the plant apart. Now some Asarums you can actually pull apart, and some you'll have to cut apart. So to cut them, I like to use our trusty Ginsu knife. I'm sure you all have these. You can buy them on late night TV. And the great thing about it is they say you can't dull them, but you can, and they send you new ones for free. So we're going to go right in the middle of the clump, and we're going to cut right down through. We're going to come up with two pieces like this. And then from there, we should be able to pull it apart even further. Again, sometimes we can. All right, so here's an example of one of the pieces that came up. So that's got one leaf. It's got your new growth buds right here. It's got some tiny little pieces of root. This can actually be planted right back in the ground just like that. Or if you want to put them in pots, you can do that. So let's continue dividing. So we just sort of twist them apart. And as we do that, we can continue to pull new ones apart. So here we have a piece that's got a couple. So I'm going to actually take that one and divide that down further. Okay, so we're up to 3 so far, and we haven't gone very far. So here we have basically roots with no crown left. The crown is this piece right here at the top of the roots. As long as you have a crown, even though you have no roots, that's going to come up and grow. So we get rid of the roots. So there's piece number 4. And here we go, we got a number 5, we got that new bud, no roots yet, but if you plant that in the ground, go ahead and put it down right below ground level, that'll grow. And as we continue, I'm going to keep popping these little pieces off. So there's another one, and if we wanted to, we could actually go down deeper. See, this is one piece. So I could either replant that, or I could come on further and just pull that apart, just tease it apart. All right, see, there we go. We got another one. So that's number 5. Probably leave that one together. So that's number 6. And so here we go. So we'll continue apart. There's another one. And then here's our number 7 piece out of that one. And again, I've got 2 leaves on it. I can actually pull that apart. If I look real close, I can begin to tease that. So put my fingers right in there and just gradually pull, and I've got 2 pieces. So we're up to probably number 8. So all these root pieces can go away. Then I'm left with another half. So I can start dividing that. Again, either I can pull it apart or I can cut. So I'm gonna get out our trusty Ginsu and cut again. And see all the growth in here? That means there's a lot of plants sitting in there. So as we start peeling those out, so here we are again with another piece. And again, I'm going to pull that right apart. So there's number 9. And we got a piece right here. Pop that in half. Number 10, number 11. So as you can see, you can take one clump and get a lot of plants. So there's number 12. Even got a root on that one. There's number 13, and again, if we want to get greedy, we can pop that. There's number 14. So as a nurseryman, we have to look at how many plants can we get out of a single clump. If you're a gardener, you can actually put a clump in pretty big. Now, what's happened here, this plant has actually grown for so long, it's developed a secondary root. So basically what happened, the original crown is grown above that. So I'm going to break that original crown off, and that's still got roots attached. So this will sprout a lot of plants itself. So there's another one. And here we go again. Okay, keep pulling these apart. And again, you can, it all depends on the care you're going to take. And the more care you're going to take, the lower you can divide those. So we're going to continue, and this little clump, you can see here how congested this is. And we just continue to pull it apart. That's another one, another one. Let's see here. Here we're going to pull that one. We're still getting good parts. Now here's an example. We've got the old crown here. We've got the new crown above it. So I'm going to actually pop that off right there. So I've got the new crown that'll give me at least one. Actually, I'm going to pop that one into two. All right, so there we go. All of those will grow. And so here's the old crown, and that'll come back. So now we're up to 20, and we still got a quarter of the clump left. So here we go. All right, there's, let's see, 21, 22. There's another 23, so we're continuing. And again, you see that crown, that tells you you've got a whole new plant sitting there. And what happens when the plant grows new growth, this will never grow unless you break it off and you get rid of these new buds. Then it says, well, to live, I've got to resprout. So I'm going to go in and pop that off. So I've got this old piece, get rid of the roots, that will sprout. And now these new pieces that will also sprout. And let's see. Again, we probably could come into there. Let's just see if we can tease that apart. Look at that. Got two more out of there. So we're up to somewhere around 25. I've lost count. All right, so we're going to do these last few pieces. There's one that came out. There's 26. So here we go, 27, 28. Number 29. There's number 30, 31, and let's see, we're left with a big piece here. Okay, got another one there, 32, and we're left with a big old crown. So we're going to try to see how many pieces that will come into to get us more. And so we're going to come in again with our trusty knife, and we're going to slice through that. Just slice through that. Just try to break it up and see what we have. That's sort of the first step in the process. And so that comes into this little piece and this piece. Each of those will sprout. And then we're left with one big hunk. And we're going to just pull it around, just see where it wants to come apart. And it wants to come apart right there. Got another crown on there, so that's 36. And then we're probably getting down toward the bottom here. But I'm going to, again, take my knife and see if I can cut right through the middle of that crown. Which we can. We've got a piece up there with a root on it. It's number 37. And then we're left pulling that apart. As long as we got that crown right there on the base. 38, 39. And I can probably go into here. Got two pieces with roots on them. So we got up to 40, and then there's another one I missed there, so 41. So 41 plants out of one wild ginger. Now what we will do is drop those back in the ground. So if we clear off all our stuff, all you need to do is have well-prepared ground, and we have a lot of organic matter already added in. So we take this, again, crown at the top, roots at the bottom, dig a little hole, and drop that in. Just be sure the roots are covered up. Be sure the crown is near the top of the surface. Doesn't need to be right at the surface, but within a ½ inch is great. And then if it had a leaf on it, as what many of ours did, with no roots, do the same sort of thing. Just come in, drop it in the ground, cover it up, leave the leaves on it, because that's what will photosynthesize and make it come back up faster. The pieces with no base on them, they have to then redevelop eyes, and then those eyes will pop out of the ground. So every little piece we have will go right back in the ground. And again, here we are, we're in the middle of January right now, which again is our favorite time to divide. So here we go, in one, in the ground, covered up. In the ground, covered up. Whoops. Get that right side up. Roots downside. So we finish, we can see the base of the plant just coming out of the ground. So these really won't do anything for about 3 months, and then all of a sudden they'll pop up and sprout. The ones where we had no foliage on them, that may take till the middle of summer before they sprout up, but they'll all come out. So you can take one plant many times without having to buy lots of plants and divide those. So these plants were put in the ground probably around 5 years ago as single divisions. So if you're ever walking out in some woods that you own or have permission, you see a really nice form, just come in, take your knife, go down here and chop off one little piece. You don't have to dig the whole plant. As we talked about, just go in, cut off one little piece, so that's all the eye you need, and then you've got a new plant. Then you leave the one that you found intact in the woods. So a really neat way and a very fast way to propagate plants in your garden.